All right, I am here with top head coach, Coach G, Gert Strydom. Gert, there's been a lot that's developed over this year, and last year we spoke about the developments for Kaine Fourie, and then it came to fruition. He pulled an amazing crowd at Boxing Bar Promotions. What's your feelings now in the aftermath of the fights and just seeing how he performed?
First of all, thanks for having me, Aiden. With Kaine, we predicted that he was going to fill that all up before the fight. I know that he's got a big following, and it's going to grow and it's going to get bigger. And then with Kaine, at this stage, we're still in the same. We've still got the same plan for him. Now that he's co-managed by Colin, I think me and Colin, we've got the same idea and the same game plan for the next 2 years with Kaine. We're not going to rush things. We're going to take it slow. We've got a fight planned for him. We don't want to say anything now because nothing is concrete yet. But soon I'm sure Colin will make that announcement. And I think we're looking at fighting him again in May. But for the next 2 years, I think we're just going to slow things down, wait for him to mature a bit. There's still a lot of things that he needs to learn. And I think in time he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I have to agree with that. I actually think he's one of the rising stars, but as you mentioned, each star needs to be developed in a certain way. And I did an interview with Colin Nathan recently as well, just to catch up and basically talk about each fight that happened on the Boxing 5 tournament. And one of the things he mentioned was that you and him haven't always seen eye to eye. You weren't on the same page. Now you guys are working together in a business sense. I mean, how has it changed sort of over the years?
I think we both grew up. We had our differences in the past, but we put it all behind us, and we move on, and we've got a good relationship. I think me and Colin, now that we're a bit older and more wiser, we understand each other. I know what he expects from me, and vice versa. And I think we're going to have a long-term relationship and a good one.
Do you anticipate any other fighters in the future that you guys will work together on? Now that you got the structure of sort of a trainer and a manager co-managing, do you foresee relationships like that developing?
Yes, I'm sure as we move on, fighters will come along. I've been in the game a long time, and I don't want to train boys from scratch. Not too long ago, I was in two minds if I'm going to stick to boxing or going to move on and call it a day. But I think with the boys that I've got now and the things going with Colin and them, with Boxing 5, with Larry and the guys, I think I'm still going to be around for a while. I'll commit to, especially Fourie. The kid started with me 7 years ago, and 7 years ago I predicted that this kid is going to be a champion one day. And I'll stick it out with him until the end. But there is big plans for that kid, and he's got the potential to go win big titles in time. Our time has just got to be right and do those fights when the time's right. I think, but so far so good. The last 3 opponents we matched him up hard to test him, and he just keeps blowing the guys away. He's definitely got something.
You've seen his development as a fighter as well, from amateurs now to pros, and rapidly he's now getting the guys out. As you said, he's getting better and better. What do you attribute his recent success, the last 3 fights, of blowing away opponents to?
Well, nothing's really changed with him since day one. The kid is such a hard worker. I've never ever worked with a kid in my 30 years in boxing that works as hard as this kid. He's never missed a training session in 7 years. That must say something. Even now, I wanted him to still rest this whole week. Monday he started training again. He started running. He said to me, just go and sit at home and do nothing. he needs to train. So, yeah, that's just, I think it's his character that makes him special, and he's always just cut above the rest. He maintains his weight. He doesn't go out. He just lives for boxing. And he's got good people around him. I think that's also a big part of his success. He's got people around him that's been around him since day one. Guys backing him, that's always there for him. Guys like Alan van der Vyver, Damascus has been backing him, RDG, Toshiba. And I think if you got that solid structure around you as a fighter, and you don't have to worry about anything, and you can only focus on your training, that automatically puts you on to the next level, and you'll always outperform the rest.
You mentioned it earlier, the reason why you're still here in the game today, you alluded to the fact that Kaine Fourie is that reason. He's the guy that, sort of got you going and got you inspired to get up again. Then you took on more boxers. I know you still got a very small team, but you took on the likes of Shaun Potgieter, who came from another camp. You've refined him, and he's looking much better. In fact, he's re-challenging again for the South African heavyweight title. What's your thoughts on him now?
Yeah, Shaun came to me about just over a year ago. And he said to me he wanted to give it another go, and I sat him down and explained to him how I work, and I said to him, that's my times I'm available. If you can fall in with that and stick to it, I'll help you. As soon as you're not on it with me, then we call it a day and you go your way. And since that day he committed, and he's in the gym, and the results show. He's gone through a whole transformation. His body has changed. He's not the Shaun Potgieter of a year and a half ago. He's improving every week. Also, I've got Donnie helping me with Shaun. He does Shaun's diets and strength and conditioning, and a lot of credit must go to Donnie as well for what he's doing with Shaun on the opposite side of town. And he's got his title fight and his title shot coming now against Gomes. It's the only fight he's ever lost to was Gomes as a pro. So this is now time for him to redeem himself. He's only got one crack at it, and he's going to have to make it count. But so far so good. I'm happy with his progress, and I think we're going to have a great fight next month.
Well, he's going to have to overcome and escape that demon that happened to him where he got stopped early by Keaton Gomes in the last fights. I mean, has he made those adjustments now for you to say he's a better fighter in this for this bout, and he can go on and become the champion?
Well, when he fought Gomes the first time, he weighed 134 kilos, out of shape. Got stopped in the first round. He didn't even put up a fight. Shaun weighs 110 kilos now, solid muscle, all the fat's gone. He's 100% better fighter than what he was 2 years ago. So let's see on the 5th of April. As you say, mindset plays a big role. His mindset, we're working on that. He's got a strong mind. I think as he improved, his mindset settled in. And I'm happy. I think we're in with a big chance there.
And get the belt, for a guy like Shaun, who's also in his 30s. His career needs to almost be fast-tracked from this point onwards. Where do you foresee him going should you get the win?
We don't want to jump the gun now. We'll see where it all ends up. There might be a couple of local fights for him to do. I know some of the heavyweights out there, they don't want to fight him. They're more sparring partners and training partners at this stage. He's beaten most of the other boys. I know Ruan Visser is back in the mix. I know there was talk last year of them fighting each other. Week in, I think that will be a great fight. But we'll see now after his comeback fight, Visser, if it's worth fighting him. I know he's been training abroad with a Tyson Fury camp, and he did some rounds with the big boys. But I think that can be a good local matchup. And other than that, I think maybe we'll take a international fight or two if it comes around. But as you say, Shaun is not a youngster anymore. He's a mature heavyweight now. He's in his prime. Heavyweights mature a bit later than the smaller fighters. So yeah, he's got to make this count. He's in a stage of his career where he can't afford to lose too many fights. Although he's only lost one fight as a pro. But he's got to make these fights count for him now, and every win is going to put him on to the next one. And I won't allow Shaun to become an opponent fighter abroad. If we take fights abroad, we're going to go there to go win it, or to be at least competitive. If the time comes for Shaun to retire, I'll be straight up with him, and we'll call it a day. That's our agreement from day one. But so far so good. I think he's got a whole lot of fights left in him. But we're going to take it fight for fight.
All right, I want to quickly go to a bit of recent news. It came out yesterday as well. Colin Nathan and Hecky Butler, they decided to call it on Hecky's illustrious career. A great fighter. I just wanted to see if you had a few comments on Hecky Butler as well, just considering what a jewel he has been for South African boxing.
You know, I didn't. Hecky is just, he was in a league of his own from day one. He was a superb amateur. I've seen him fight as a youngster. He was, I think, in the SA team 7 or 8 years in a row. He was one of the top amateurs ever to come out of South Africa. Then when he turned pro, he became a Ring Magazine fighter. Yes, he won basically every belt that was out there to win. Sad, but also in a way I'm happy that he can leave the game on his terms, and he's not forced to stop like a lot of other fighters. Yeah, now he just had an awesome career, and I wish him all the best in future, him and his wife and his family. And I know whatever Hecky does in future, he will make a success out of it.
Thank you very much, Gert. That pretty much wraps it up for today. Is there anything lastly that you want to finish with, you want to say before we leave here?
No, I just want to say thanks to you guys for always putting the boxing news out there. Without you guys, we'll be lost out there. Nobody will know what's going on. With BSA, it looks like things are getting better. At least there's events happening, and the boys can fight. And yeah, I just wish all this can come to an end now. It's put a hold on the game for quite a while, and you know, we as stakeholders and licensees, we just want to fight in the ring. All those fights and everything that's happening outside of the ring at the moment, it just puts a hold on everything and slows things down. And I mean, we've got boys that's capable of winning legitimate world titles, but if we don't get our house in order, we're gonna lose all those boys. And so yeah, that's my only concern. But I see things are looking up, and I think if everybody can just work together, we can make boxing work again. Thanks. That's all I've got to say. Thanks, Aidan.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Aidan. Thanks for having me.